Hi everyone! My name is Elizabeth and welcome back to my YouTube channel in which I document my 2021 no-buy year. So for this introductory video for March, I would like to do two things. Invite you to join me in a no-buy or low-buy March and introduce my very first project pan. First off, I just want to extend an invitation for you to join me in a no or low buy for part or all of the month of March. Part of the reasons why, or I should say one of the major reasons why I developed this YouTube channel was because I wanted to build a community of like-minded people, and I really enjoyed watching other YouTubers' content on no and low buy journeys. So I was just hoping to plug into that community a little bit, build a little bit of that same community on my own channel, and uplift one another and support one another as we try to move towards a conscious consumerism, conscious consumption, slow fashion, less is more lifestyle. So if you would like to join me in a low or no buy for part or all of March, I would love to have you. Please comment down below, let me know if you're going to join, if so, how long. Keep in mind that just because I'm doing a no buy for a whole year doesn't mean that that needs to be a parameter for your no buy or low buy if you're coming to join with me. You could do it for a week, several weeks, the entire month, whatever feels right to you. And I also encourage you to go through a thoughtful process of developing your rules and your framework for your no buy, in which you very specifically lay out what you are and what you are not allowed to buy during your low or no buy. Again, your rules probably wouldn't be the same as mine. If you're interested in the rules of my own no buy, I will link my introductory video up in the cards where I talk about my no buy year. That's where I go through all of my rules and the framework for my own no buy. I'm not going to reiterate all that now, but I just really encourage you to go through that process. I think it really helps to keep you accountable, helps to set you up for success, and everyone's triggers for desire and excessive consumption are different. For some people it may be housewares, for some people it may be makeup, for some people it may be clothes, some people it may be shoes. So feel free to make your rules as specific as they need to be to support you. And please let me know what your rules are if you are going to join me for a no or low buy March. I'd be super interested in knowing what your parameters are going to be for your no buy or low buy. With that being said, let's move on to the project pan. I'm doing a project pan 2021. I know it's not January 2021, that's come and gone, but it's fine. I can start a year-long project pan in March. It's close enough to January that it still counts. I talked a little bit about whether or not I should do a project pan in a previous video. It was actually my depotting part 2 video, which I will also link up in the cards here. And I got some really wonderful feedback from a lot of you about encouraging me to do a project pan. So I'm actually pretty pumped to do this. I think part of it is because a lot of the project pan process, at least based on my research, seems to be about collecting data. And for my type A OCD scientific minded brain, collecting data just ticks all my boxes and makes me super happy. So I do like the idea of choosing a set of products and tracking how much I use them over the course of the rest of the year. So for my project pan, I'm going to talk about the products I chose. This will be a rolling pan, a rolling project pan. So what that means is that as products, hopefully as, not if, as products are used up, I will replace them with others of an equivalent product in that category until the end of the year. I'm not including mascara and eyebrow products in this project pan because I don't have any backups of those. So, once I use up my current mascara that I'm using, I'll just buy a new one. Plus, I feel like with mascara, it doesn't seem to really generate a lot of excitement for a project pan because most people, you know, you use up your mascara pretty quickly and you're supposed to dispose of it within 3 months anyway. So I'm not including mascara in this. And again, same thing with my eyebrow pencils, my eyebrow products. I only have one eyebrow pencil and one eyebrow gel. So I won't, you know, once I use those up, I'll just buy another one. I go through them pretty quickly as well, since I use them every day. So those aren't included in my project pan, but every other major makeup category, I have at least one, if not two, for each category. I'm not going to do too much more than two for each category. I think I have three for the lip product category, but other than that, I'm not going to do more than two for most other categories. I did see on the Curated Hearts blog and her YouTube channel, she doesn't recommend choosing too many products for each category for a project pan because it can make it feel more onerous trying to use up a product if you're trying to use up multiple of the same product type, and you won't feel as much success because if you're spreading out your project panning amongst, let's say, 5 eyeshadow palettes, it's going to be pretty hard to hit pan on all of those eyeshadow palettes because honestly, not too many people use that much makeup as it is. So let's get on into it. So the first category, I'm just gonna go in the order that I put on my makeup. So my first category is primer, and the product I am choosing to use up is my Glossier Future Dew. I actually really love this as a primer. I will repurchase this, I think, once I use up all my other primers, but I just love this. It's such an amazing product to give some slip to your skin when you're applying your foundation, and it just makes your skin look incredibly dewy with just, at least for me, the most healthy sheen. This I would not recommend for someone with super oily skin, but for my really dry skin, it makes such a wonderful primer. You probably can't see it. Maybe the light from the window is showing up enough, but I mean, this is probably gonna go pretty fast because the level is right there. And I'm gonna mark it, with this one I'm gonna mark it with a Sharpie where the current level is, but it's right there. So I imagine this one's going to go. There's a lot of reflection from the sunlight, but I imagine this one's going to go pretty fast. So super excited to use this up and move on to some of my other primers. Next category is foundation. I'm going to use or put my Exa Beauty foundation in the color Therese in my project pan. And this is one of my holy grail foundations. I absolutely love it. But I am excited to use it up because I have so much foundation I'm trying to get through. And I really just want to have at maximum 2 foundations in my makeup collection, period. And right now I think I have maybe 6. So I am really excited to use this up. I will repurchase this once it's used up and after I've used up all of my other products. It's a really good shade match for me. I really like the finish of this product. It's satin leaning dewy, at least on my skin, and especially layering it over the Glossier, it definitely is quite dewy, which I like. That's my preferred foundation finish. And I don't know if you can see this. I'll show I think at the back it's easier to see, but that's where it is right here, the level of it. So this one's gonna be tough. I will be very impressed with myself if I use this up by the end of the year. But again, I'll mark this with a Sharpie to show where the current level is so that you can get more information on how much I use it up, as I check in every month. And then next complexion product is concealers. So I have 2 concealers because I always use a liquid concealer under my eyes and then a cream concealer everywhere else. So for my liquid concealer, I'm using up the Florence by Mills I think it's See You Never concealer in the shade F05, I believe that says. It's worn off a little bit. For this one, first of all, I don't like this concealer very much. I will be very happy to see this go. So using this up, that's kind of my motivation for using this up, getting this out of my collection. I don't really like it that much, but I'm gonna use it up. I am determined. As far as how much is in here, I think it's used up to about like the R in Florence on the bottle. And the way I figured that out, I'll have to do this again, with a marker was I kind of pushed the air. I tried to get all the product down to the bottom. I saw Khaki from Khaki Reviews Beauty do this with her project pan because she was wondering how to figure out how much product is left, like how to measure it in a tube like this where it's just really hard to see the level. And this is what she did. So this was my idea. So as you can see, actually I'm gonna face this towards me. So as I squeeze the air out, oh, there. So like right there, some of it just came out. So like the O, right at the bottom of the O, I'm gonna wipe that off. Right at the bottom of the O is how much of that product I have left. So right there. So I'm super excited to use this up and move on to my backup concealer, which is the Kosas Revealer Concealer. So I think I'm gonna like that one much better than this one. Where did I put the cap? Here we go. My next concealer is the Rituel de Fille, the Ethereal Veil Conceal and Cover in the shade NYX. And this is what it looks like inside. So you can see I have not hit pan on that. I hardly need any of this. It's just the barest amount, and I just usually tap it on my chin and around my nose where I get a little redness. Sometimes on my forehead if I have a blemish, which is very unusual, I will conceal it with this. But I mean, I don't know that you can see that. It's hard. I mean, it has a dent, but I will be wildly shocked if I actually use this up by the end of my project pan for this year. My thought for this one is that I will hit pan, but I don't think I'm going to use this up just because I need so little every time I use it. And I do use it every day. I've been using this every day for over a year, and you can see how small the dent is. So that's it for those base products. Let's see, which one should we do next? Probably eyes. I do have 2 eyeshadows that I want to use up. They are both ColourPop in the color Hanky Panky. So you can probably see how this one, we'll see what happens with this one. It's a beautiful matte, like neutral, slightly cool toned matte taupe eyeshadow that's just perfect for defining the crease and just giving a slight definition to the eye. But as many of you know with the Super Shock formulas, they get weird after a while. And this one is kind of, it's getting gummy and kind of, I mean, look at that, it looks pretty disgusting. It's getting kind of gummy and gross, so I definitely want to use this up. I think I may actually have to get rid of this before I use it up. I don't think it will be usable for much longer, but I'm going to try my best to at least hit pan on this, use up as much of it as I can before it actually just needs to, you know, be decluttered because it's just not usable anymore. And then the other one is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Cosmic Charge. So this one is just a beautiful shimmery taupe. And I was trying to decide between Cosmic Charge and the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in Oyster Pearl. But that little pot of the Charlotte Tilbury is, I think that would take me years to hit pan on. So I thought, let's try something a little more realistic. We'll go with the ColourPop Super Shock and Cosmic Charge. So going to try to use this one up completely. Going to try to use this one up completely, the Hanky Panky, but most likely we'll just hit pan and then may have to declutter it because it's definitely on its last legs. So that's it for eye products. Next up, let's talk about cheek products. So for cheeks, I have, we'll do highlighters first. Oh, you know what I didn't mention? I didn't mention my under eye corrector. I have an under eye corrector in my project pan. I've actually already hit pan on it, as you can see. This is from the NYX color correcting palette. I just depotted it and put it in this little Magnetic Salt New York palette. So that I want to use up. And as you can see, I've really hit pan on it. I think I will definitely use this up before the end of the year. What I might do is actually heat it up so that the product kind of fills the pan more evenly, like fills in that the bottom, because it's really hard to get to when it's in the corners. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, but I think I'll definitely use up this under eye corrector by the end of the project pan. So all right, so now we can talk about highlighters. So the highlighters that I chose 2. So I chose the Salt New York Cream Tint Pro in Pearl, which is right there, and you can see it has a dent in it. I feel like these Cream Tint Pros have a shocking amount of product in them. So with this one, I'm more of the mind that I'm going to pan it rather than use it up. I don't know that I will be able to use it up, but I will be pretty proud if I'm able to pan it because there's so much product in the Cream Tint Pros. And then the other highlighter I do think I will use up, which is why I chose it, is the Rituel de Fille Rare Light Luminizer in Ghost Light. So you can see I have hit pan on it. Part of the reason why I chose this one for Project Pan was that I want to be strategic in choosing things that really push me to use them up because they're kind of close as it is, as well as have more ambitious goals where may not use it up, but will at least make a sizable dent. As you can see, I have really hit pan on that. I do think I will use this up. I have to say, it's a shocking amount of product, and I feel like it's been in this state for months and months and months, even though I use it almost every day. It's shocking to me. I feel like there should be a lot less in here than there actually is. This might be another one where I put it on the heating element to smooth it out and have it fill in the whole bottom. It'll just be easier for me to use. All right, cheek products, other cheek products, blush. For blush, I am going to try and pan my Vapor Beauty Afterglow Multi-Use Palette, the Courtesan Aura Classic Multi-Use. It's this one on the left right here I'm pointing at. That is the cheek product in this palette. Although it's a multi-use product, so you can use it on eyes and on lips as well as cheeks, but I just use it for cheeks. So I wanna try to hit pan on that. You can see it's got a pretty decent dent in it. So that's one of the cheek products that I'm trying to use up. And then the other one is my M Cosmetics. What are these called? I don't wanna tilt it because then you're not gonna get to see the level. I think it's the color drops or serum color drops. It's the M Cosmetic Liquid Blush. This is in the color Pink Nectar, and I don't know if this is going to show up on camera very well, but the level is right, it's right there. So this one, this is going to be pretty ambitious. I feel like liquid blushes in general are much harder to use up than cream products. At least that has been my experience, is that the liquid blushes tend to be more highly pigmented, so you need a lot less of them. It's just a lot harder to use them up. And there's a lot of product in this bottle, certainly way more compared to the Vapor Beauty Aura Classic Courtesan, which is the other blush in my Project Pan. Then, let's see, what else do we have? Lip products. And I think that's it. This might actually be a decently short video. I feel like all of my videos are way, way too long. So I'm excited for this to maybe not be such a long video. Lip products. So the lip products I have are my two MAC Patent Polish crayons. I don't know what they're called, the Patent Polish Lip Pencil. So I have two of these in Ruby and Clever. And the way I'm going to measure these is I'm actually going to use an index card. So I'll twist them all the way up and then put an index card next to it and mark the level on the index card. You can see that Ruby is just about, that's just about gone as it is, which is why I have 3 products in this category, not 2. Clever, which is the other one, you can see I still have a lot on there. So there, that's what I've got for Clever. So this one, whoo-wee. This one will be a challenge. Ruby will be used up, I would say, within a couple of months, but I think Clever will take a while. And then the other lip products that I want to try to hit pan on, maybe not necessarily use up. If I use them up, fabulous, but I'm trying to be more realistic with this goal, considering I have 3 lip products. This actually this counts as 3, not 4, because I'm about to show you 2 products, but I always use them together. Is, again, coming back to that Vapor Beauty palette, the 530, the Afterglow Multi-Use Palette in 530. The 2 products on this side, the one in the middle and the one over here, these are a lipstick. So this one in the middle is a lipstick. It's called Siren. and the one on the right is a lip gloss, and that one's called Kitten. And you can see I've made a decent dent, but I'm hoping to use them up, but I will be super stoked if I just hit pan on these. And that is it for all of the items in my project pan. So these items are going to go in my monthly makeup bin. I talked about my monthly makeup bin in in January and in February. My monthly makeup bin is where I just take items, I kind of curate a collection of makeup items that I want to use for the month. My January and February bins were pretty much the same. I think I only swapped out one item, but these project pan items are going to live in that makeup bin alongside all the other monthly products that are getting swapped in and swapped out as the month goes along. And yeah, they're gonna stay there, and I'm just going to try my very best to use them up and then record my progress on those items every month. My hope with the project pan is that, one, it will show me demonstrably that I don't need as much product as I think I do going forward. Help me to curate my collection down to just exactly what I need instead of having massive amounts of makeup in storage. So that's one of the goals, or one of the aims of what I'm trying to get out of this project pan. And then I also want to really create a personal collection of makeup in which I have built a relationship with the products that I have, so that I really understand how they work, so that I understand their versatility, so that I can just really develop that relationship with those products and really learn to appreciate what I have instead of always looking for the next best thing, desiring the next best thing. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to get out of the project pan process. And I also am excited to be a part of the project pan community in general. It seems to be a fairly robust community both here on YouTube and also on Instagram. So it'll kind of feel fun, like joining that project pan family, since it seems to be a pretty popular thing for beauty YouTubers and other lifestyle YouTubers here. That is it. I can't believe it. This will probably be the shortest video I've ever done, and that feels pretty awesome. So if you've ever done a project pan or have been thinking about it, please comment below. If you have done a project pan, let me know how it went, and if you have any advice for a project pan, especially around the items that you choose for your project pan and the way in which you go about tracking your progress for your project pan. I have talked a little bit in this video about how I'm going to track my progress on each of the products as I was showing them to you, but I've seen some people build spreadsheets and you know, people seem to have different systems. So I would like to hear about your system if you've done a project pan, just as I'm kind of getting into this and learning about it and trying to find what works for me. I would love to hear what has worked for you in the past. And if you haven't done a project pan, but you are interested in starting one, I strongly encourage you to try a project pan with me. I mean, even just choosing, I know some people who just do like a 5-product project pan for like a month, something like that. It doesn't have to be this intense process like what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing it for an entire year. It can certainly be for less amount of time than that. But, you know, if you're interested, if it's something you've been wanting to try, dive on in with me. And again, comment below. Let me know if you're going to try a project pan and what your products will be that you are going to try to use up. So that is it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.